Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be filming this video because I feel like I get this question a lot from you guys of how to make your makeup last all day long, and I'm going to show you that today. And it's actually very simple and very easy, whether you have dry skin, oily skin, combination, whatever kind of skin you have, this will work for you. I actually have very dry skin. I wouldn't say very dry skin, but I do have more normal to dry skin, I would say. So this technique and this whatever I do works for me very, very, very well. I was just in Vegas a couple weeks ago and I did this, and I know it might seem like when I do it it's a lot, but if you do it the correct way, it really doesn't look like a lot on the face, if that makes sense. You'll get it when I'm, actually doing it. But if you want to see how to make your makeup last literally all day long, maybe even till the next day, I wouldn't recommend it, but please keep on watching. My shirt, honestly, it's from Shein. Seriously, so freaking cute. I'm digging it. What do you think? I like it. Okay, let's jump into this video because honestly, my face routine really doesn't take me that long, and I literally have 10 products here in front of me that I use, but I swear it doesn't see it. It looks like less, honestly. It's literally a few setting mists, a primer, concealer, foundation, highlighter, powder, blush, bronzer, blah, 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 blah. Honestly, it's really not that much. So let's go ahead and get started. Before I start out and tell you exactly how I do things and show you how I do it, I want to tell you guys one thing. Your skincare is so super important. Like your makeup, I've said this in videos like in the past, that your makeup literally will only look as good as what's underneath. So I mean, if you have bumps and texture and stuff, that's fine. You can make it look good. But if you don't put like moisturizer or eye cream or something to hydrate, or even just a simple hydrating primer, your makeup will not go on right. And I don't know, maybe it works for you with no primer, or just no skincare, maybe that's your thing. But for me, and for a lot of people that I know, have changed, it'll change your whole makeup game if you really do put at least some moisturizer on. So I already toned my face, put eye cream and moisturizer on, and it's been sitting for about 30 minutes now. It's like very soaked into the skin. You don't have to wait that long. I was just like, I don't know, doing stuff. So now I'm gonna go in with my primer. Primer to me is so important because I feel like I said, your makeup looks as good as what's underneath. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have pores and you're not using like a pore filling primer, your makeup up close or even from far might look kind of like it's settling into fine lines and wrinkles and pores, and it's just not nice, and then you're gonna hate it. So I would recommend investing in like a good primer or even a drugstore primer, whatever you can do. Just find one that works for you, whether it's hydrating, pore filling, smoothing, whatever your skin needs. Not everybody has the same skin, so not everybody has the same needs. You get my point? So I'm gonna go in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. This has been my true ride or die lately, honestly. Like, I've used a bunch of it, but a little bit goes a long way, so it will last you. It is pretty pricey. I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks, but honestly, like, a little really does go a long way. So I take about that much. That's probably too much, but I don't know, I like putting like a good amount. And I go and I just kind of warm it up in between my two fingers. And then I will just rub it literally, not even only where my pores are, but like everywhere around my face. I like to put this all over because I really do feel like it gives you like that baby's ass looking like skin. Or glass skin, I should say. Why did I have to say that? But I really do like this primer a lot. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna be doing is going in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear in Shell Beige. I just have a huge bottle of it. I'm gonna be pouring it on the back of my hand. And this is literally my ride or die foundation. I have tried so many foundations, but I truly do believe, obviously, like, your foundation matters because it just, I don't know, this one's really long lasting. Like, even if you don't set it, I feel like it really is so matte that it like just lasts all day, but it's not so matte. It could feel drying sometimes, but like I said, if you're using all the stuff, the proper stuff underneath, it will not feel like cakey or dry or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this, and I know it's way darker than my face, but that's just how I like to do things, so don't kill me for it, but that's just how I do. And I have a spray tan right now, so it kind of like will blend down. I make sure to get my foundation literally everywhere, on my ears, everywhere. Make sure you don't forget about these little creases on your nose because I hate that. All these little things that you focus on while you're applying your actual face makeup makes a difference for how it lasts throughout the day. Like if you forget to get here, it's gonna look like all day that, oh, your makeup has been on all day and it's just like cracked and separated, and you do not want that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be using is my concealer, which is a Tarte Shape Tape in Light Neutral, and I've fallen back in love with Shape Tape. I loved it, hated it, loved it, hated it, love it again. So I'm going to be using this all over my under eyes and all in my T-zone right now. I'm looking in my mirror right now if you're wondering what the hell I'm looking at. Okay, I like to use a generous amount. You don't have to do this. Honestly, I really do use concealer more for the brightening effect. I mean, I do have a little like veins and stuff, a few veins down there, but I don't have like too bad of under eyes. I like to make sure to put it in my nose because I feel like it just brightens that area, and I hate the redness and the shadows that it gives. And then I just hit the chin, and I'll hit it just a little bit on the sides of the mouth. Just because I've been noticing, like when I take pictures, I have darkness like here and here, and I don't know why, so hopefully the concealer will fix that. I'm going to be taking my mini beauty sponge by Jeffree Star and Morphe, and I'm just going to be blending that in. You can use a brush or a sponge. I just prefer a sponge over a brush, but that's just personal preference. Honestly, literally all of this is personal preference of how you like to do your makeup, but this just really, how I'm doing my makeup, the next few steps is what's going to make it last all day, but the base obviously matters so much before you go in and set it and all that stuff. Okay, so now that I have everything blended out, I am going to go in with my powder. And before I like to go in with like a translucent powder or like a loose setting powder, I like to go in with a pressed like banana-y shade powder. And I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Princess, Park Ave Princess, whatever it's called, palette. And I'm going with the second shade just because the first one is done. I like the first shade better, but I like to go in with like something like that. I usually like to use this or my Kat Von D, the middle shade, the yellow one. And I like to just go under, make sure like everything is crease free for sure, because you don't want to set anything that is creased or else you'll regret it later, because then your makeup will look old and crusty. So I'm gonna take that right away and just set right under there. It's a very light set. I did not put a lot of powder onto this sponge. I just feel like doing this before going in with a straight translucent powder helps it not to settle into fine lines, wrinkles, or just creases, whatever you got. I take this powder everywhere. I put the concealer. I didn't even dip back in right now. I'm just taking what's left. I'm gonna dip back in for the chin just to brighten it, and then take whatever is left everywhere else. I put the concealer. Next thing that I'm gonna be doing is taking my Cover FX loose setting powder. It's called the Perfect Setting Powder. It's translucent, and I'm going to be taking it on my cap. Okay, and I'm gonna be I almost do my whole base with a sponge. I just think it just makes everything look so seamless, so even it pushes everything into the skin, so it makes it look more skin-like, and it makes it, in my opinion, kind of last all day because you are pressing it into the skin. It doesn't have brush strokes. It doesn't have anything that is visible to see that you're not wearing makeup, because obviously, like, I mean, I like to look like I'm wearing makeup, you know, but not obviously, I don't like to look cakey. So the next step that I'm going to be doing is taking my Morphe sponge, and I'm going to dip the powder in there, and I got a generous amount. Don't be shy with the powder, in my opinion. I like to do it this way. Like I said, I do have dry skin, and this powder works perfectly fine for me. The Hourglass Mineral Veil I ran out of, but I've been recently falling in love with this because it literally makes you look like a porcelain doll all over the face. So I'm gonna be taking it just like this. I like to start it off in my pores area because I feel like it kind of smooths it all out and kind of fills in those pores extra. And then I take it everywhere else. So I go like that all over the cheek, and then I take whatever's left and re-powder under my eye, which is gonna ensure it's gonna last all day long. I make sure to get into that nose crease. And then I'm just gonna continue to pat this all into the skin until the powder literally like melts into the skin. And mind you, I like to look dewy as well. And my mistake, I'm gonna do the same thing on my forehead. My mistake, I'm gonna take it all over because you don't need that much on your forehead. But my mistake when I used to do my makeup and I would notice it doesn't last all day is because I'd use all these dewy products and I wouldn't set my face really. I'd set it very lightly with like maybe whatever's left on a powder brush. But my mistake was doing that because my makeup would like slip right off my face even though I had dry skin, because I don't know, I just feel like creams do that. They slip and slide everywhere. So I like to do this and my face doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like crepey. It doesn't feel like it's like it needs like hydration, but you will feel a little powdery, which is my next step. I'll get into that. I'm gonna finish off the rest of my face, the same steps. For my neck, I take like a larger fluffy brush and just like lightly dip in. And I just kind of do my neck because it's like annoying doing it with a sponge, in my opinion. I close my eyes because I hate when powder flies into my eyes and gets all into my contacts. So then when I take it on my neck, I just kind of make sure to dust off everything around my face just to make sure that there's no like powder on top of the skin or laying anywhere, just to be extra sure. Okay, so now you know how I said I like to look dewy, and that whole story of how I used to use, you know, dewy products and dewy, make myself look glowy, because it's all about the glow these days. It really is. But you can still matte out your face and then use other products to bring that like dewiness back in the correct spots that you want to be dewy. Like for me, I don't want to look like dewy all over my face. Sometimes I do, like if you're in the sun, stuff like that. But honestly, like this will literally make your makeup last, I'm not kidding, it could last 2 days, really, it could. But obviously, like, I don't wear my makeup for that long. But I'm going to now jump into the next step, which is a setting spray. So now, because I put all that powder and I don't feel dry, but I still feel like, you know, you look powdery, you kind of want to like settle it down, let it melt some more into the skin. I like to take a dewy setting mist or the Continuous Setting Mist by Morphe, or like a Fix Plus by MAC. Any setting spray really will do, but since I do like to look dewy, I go in with a dewy setting mist. So I powdered my face, I did the whole thing. You know, I still, in my opinion, looking at myself in the mirror, I don't look powdery at all because I didn't just take a brush and slap on some powder. I made sure to melt it into the skin, and now I'm gonna go ahead and spray my entire face. All right, and while the setting spray is kind of drying, I let it dry on its own for like 30 seconds, not even, and then I'm going to take nothing's on my sponge, the same sponge too. I'm going to be just pressing that all into the skin and ensuring that the sponge picks up whatever excess powder or excess anything on the face and pushes it into the skin to make it look so seamless and so skin-like that you would not even expect that you have makeup on. And there you go, you just added some dewiness because the spray has, you know, a little glow to it, and you added moisture to the face so you don't feel like dry and crepey if you do have dry skin. I just turned down my light because I feel like, I don't know, I can't tell if like my lighting is so off right now, but in my monitor it literally just looks so off. So I just turned down my light a little bit. I'm so sorry if my lighting is off today. So now that that's all settled into the face, my face literally just looks like smooth, even, no texture, no bumps, no fine lines, no wrinkles, nothing. It just looks like a clean canvas. And now we're gonna go in with like kind of like the powder, the highlight, the contour and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and bronze our cheeks up with the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. And I'm going to take my new favorite brush, by Morphe. It's the M143 brush. It's like a large bronzing fan brush, and I've been loving it lately. So I like to hit the forehead first, kind of bronze that up. I hold my hair back to get right into the hairline so everything looks seamless. And then I just kind of bronze. I don't even go, I'm not even clean with this when I do like my bronzer, because I want to make sure to, sorry, my camera shut off, but I was saying that I'm not even like clean, or like I don't like try to be very precise when I'm doing my bronzer, because I literally just want to bronze up my whole entire face. I keep like the main areas when I first dip into there, right on the forehead, on the cheeks, and then I take whatever's left all over on the jawline, down the neck, and all that stuff. I even hit the sides of the nose just very lightly with whatever's left, and then I do the same exact thing on the other side until I feel as if I am bronzed enough. And since that we powdered the way I did with the translucent powder, we're allowed to like rub onto our face. If you didn't set your face like that, you would have to kind of do stamping motions so you don't move the base underneath, but you don't have to worry about that with this technique because it will not go anywhere. All right, so the next thing we're gonna be doing is taking my next favorite brush, is a Morphe M405 brush with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. And honestly, it looks all beat up and messed up. I like to literally dip in a few times of each, make sure to dust it off. I tap it on the back of my hand just like twice, just so I don't get it like too much. And I go ahead and now contour out and chisel out the cheeks, just lightly right under like my, I'm out of breath because I just ran to get this palette because I forgot it upstairs. So I'm literally freaking out of breath. I need to work out with my lazy ass. I take it on my forehead and kind of just chisel out where I want to contour. Kind of like right below the ear, under the jawline type thing. I'm sure you guys mostly know how to contour at this point. I'm not even doing like a heavy, crazy face routine right now. I'm pretty much showing you guys like, yeah, like how to make your makeup last all day, but this is also honestly my legit every single day face routine. Even when I go to parties and weddings, I do this, but maybe a little more, maybe I'll like bronze up more, maybe I'll do like a few extra steps, but really, not really. This is honestly my like face routine that has worked for me. It photographs well, it just looks so great, it looks so amazing. I look contoured, I look bronzed, I look, you know, like whatever, I like how I look. So honestly, this face routine does not disappoint me any time at all. Gonna take a little more and go hit the jawline. And then I take the same brush because I'm lazy. Maybe if like I was trying to be more precise, I would do a different brush, and I literally contour my nose with this. I like using this brush for it because I feel like it gives it a softer, lighter contour versus like such a harsh contour. And I even make sure to take it up to like the brows, and then I'll just take kind of like my sponge and kind of blend it out, just because sometimes it does get harsh and you don't want that. The next thing I'm gonna be doing is taking the MAC Peaches blush on a Morphe JH06 brush. Sorry, I couldn't see that. And I'm going to just kind of go all over my cheeks. And honestly, I love blush, so I literally almost like contour on top of my contour with blush, and I literally take it everywhere. But I start off on the apples of my cheeks, obviously where I want the most pigment, and then I work my way backwards and all the way through the temples and on the forehead. I just think it brings some like, I don't know, it just is so sexy. It gives that like extra that your makeup needs. I don't know, sometimes I wish you guys can be in my brain to see what my thought process is like. But I just think it's so sexy and so pretty and so feminine. And I like to hit it on the forehead, a little down the nose, down the chin, but literally lightly. I'm not like straight up like dipping and like doing that. I just do that on the apples of my cheeks and then take whatever's left all the way throughout. I like to take this like fluffier brush just because it doesn't disperse it like an angled brush would. It would kind of look so harsh. I like this one because you can kind of like disperse it very naturally and very soft, or else I feel like you could take it overboard for sure with the blush. Okay, so the next step that I'm gonna do is very unnecessary. You don't have to do it, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to. To be honest, I don't always do it Like, this is the extra step that I would maybe do for a party just to make my contour look very cut and very chiseled. I'm gonna go back into the setting powder, the Perfect Setting Powder by Cover FX, and I'm going to bake underneath my jawline. This step you do not have to do, but if you want that perfect cut contour, you can go ahead and do it. Honestly, it depends my mood, whether like I feel like doing this or not. Sometimes I don't want that like perfect cut line for contour, but today, for the sake of the video, I want to show you every way. And obviously you're baking even more, so your makeup is gonna last way longer. But since we did do it the way I showed you earlier, like pressing it into the skin, this is kind of just like an extra step to clean up your contour and ensure it lasts longer down here, but it still would last probably the same amount of time. But this might, you know, obviously ensure it a little longer, because that's the point of baking, is to brighten and longevity. So now I don't even let my bake stay on that long. It's been about 2 minutes, and I'm going to just press it into the skin. I don't like to rub anything away. I like to push everything into the skin and make sure it is doing its job that it's supposed to do. If you just wipe it off, it's just gonna give you the brightened effect. I don't think it'll give you like the baking effect to last longer. So I'm going to just press it all into the skin, and then whatever is left, the excess, then I go ahead and kind of rub it off. Okay, now that I have my bake away, I'm going to go in with the Morphe Prep and Set Setting Spray or Continuous Setting Mist, and I'm going to go ahead and spritz my face another time because I just powdered and I want to put my highlighter on. So right before I highlight, I like to spray my face because I feel like your highlighter pops more, and also because you just baked, so you want to kind of bring that moisture and skin-like effect back into the skin. I would suggest not talking while your setting spray is on, because you don't want to make any lines, creases, any facial expressions, because it'll set the exact way you set it. And now I'm gonna take my sponge and do the same thing. Every time I spray, go back in with my sponge after like 30 seconds and just pat it all over. Push everything back into the skin. Make sure it's, you know, skin-like and seamless. And before it completely dries right around my cheeks, I like to go in with my Amrezy highlighter and go on the cheeks. I don't like to rub because it's still damp in that spot. I like to press it in, and then once I feel like it's kind of like fine to rub, I go ahead and just do my thing and glow up. This is my favorite, all-time favorite part. I'll hit it on the brow bone, on top of the brow, and then the same thing on the other side, in the center of the nose, down the bridge, Cupid's bow, and chin. And this is gonna give you also that dewy effect. Like, this is what I meant when I said you can pick the spots you wanna be dewy in, and trust me, you can glow the hell up in your T-zone and look like you have the dewiest makeup on ever. You can highlight the inner corners. I would get a smaller brush, highlight your inner corners, highlight your cheeks. Sometimes I'll mix highlighters to give me a more intense one. Today I'm not gonna, because this is literally what I do. These are the products, like these are my ride or die products, honestly. Like, these are what I use every single day of my entire life. And I pretty much do the same steps every single day. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but pretty much the same steps. I like to go back in with my blush brush and just kind of blend the highlight. I didn't dip back into more blush, but just, you know, kind of blending it. Okay guys, and this is pretty much it of how I make my makeup last all day / my legit face routine, and I love how it looks. I just feel so pretty with it on. I feel like my skin looks flawless, I look smooth, I don't look cakey, but I still look glam, if that makes sense. Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face one more time with the Dewy Setting Mist. Setting mists are your best friend. They are your friend. Keep them by your side. I'm going to go ahead and throw some bottom mascara on, a little eyeshadow underneath, some lipstick, and I'll be right back to finish out the video. Alright guys, and that completes this tutorial of how to make your makeup last all day long / my typical face routine. Is it too extra for you? Honestly, it really doesn't take that long. I promise you, you can do it. I hope you guys learned some tips and tricks in this video of everything I was trying to teach you. So let me know down below how I did and what you guys think. How do I look? I went natural on the eyes because obviously I want to focus more on the face today and show you guys in depth of what I do and how to make it last. But yeah, like I said, I hope you learned from this. And the question of the day, I haven't done this in a while, but I want to start. So please comment down below and answer it. The question of the day is, what is your favorite thing in your face routine? Like, what is one thing that you cannot live without in your face routine? Whether you're bronzer, foundation, highlighter, comment that down below, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.